I don't want anyone to take this video personally. Um, I don't like to say this. I don't like to face this reality about women. But, you know, here's a woman walking by or a girl walking by. It's kind of embarrassing to be saying this, but I have to make this video. Women are so idiotic and stupid. And it's really a curse on humanity because um, men have to deal with the stupidity of women all their lives, all our lives, and the stupidity never stops. And they say the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, but think about how many problems there are. And if that's true, then it's all women's fault, right? It's all the hand that rocks the cradle's fault because women never stop complaining and gossiping and spending money and demanding luxury and men working, slaving away endlessly for their uh, high minded, moralistic, petty demands. And women just do not want to give out. And we're also faced with all these goddamn fucking feminists who just want to destroy the souls of guys and want to take over the world. And I'm not even that concerned with all those goddamn imperialistic feminists and power hungry women who are taking over colleges and corporations and just want to totally crush men under their thumbs. Those are not the women I'm really concerned about because they're just gonna disintegrate into ashes from their own evil, and they're so goddamn evil and disgusting that they're just gonna disintegrate like a witch, like the wild witch of the east, or whatever. But I'm really concerned about just girls and women in general and how totally illogical, like irrational and crazy they are in relation to like the guys they choose, um, and like what they do to them after. Because I understand that girls want a sweet guy, but they just don't understand reality. And like I see a lot of really, really incredibly hot women choosing like really dumb or really like just not very impressive guys. Sometimes girls make the right choice, but usually they just choose really, really pathetic guys, and you see like incredibly hot women going around with really, really pathetic um with really pathetic men. Or you see women choosing like slimeball losers. Or you see women choosing intellectual or powerful creeps. Or you see women choosing the right guys, but then because of all their womanly idiocy, and womanly um, corruption, they destroy themselves and like they drive their husbands crazy for their whole lives. And like, I don't want to get married. You know, my life was fucking screwed up by my idiotic, stupid mother who corrupted herself and was like stupid since I was the age of 10. And like, both my parents utterly screwed up my life, along with my mother's family and all the professionals who messed up my life, the school system, the medical system, all of these utter creeps, these greedy creeps who don't care about anyone else but themselves, who don't believe in God, who have no spirituality. These fucking creeps ruined half of my life. They ruined my parents, because ultimately the banks and the corporations and the evil establishment is behind most of the corruption and evil in the world, which just keeps multiplying off of itself. So they've destroyed a lot of people. They've destroyed a lot of years of a lot of people's lives. But like, I have to deal with the fact over and over again that girls and women are totally fucking brainwashed by the establishment and the system. And they don't understand men and what men have to deal with. So, you know, I guess a lot of people, or like a fair number of people, don't really have serious problems because their parents are fairly aware of the facts of life and that their parents are fairly well grounded. So, like, a fair number of guys are pretty well grounded, but there's also a fair number of people, a large number of people, whose parents are totally fucked up and then get fucked up a second time by all the establishment choosing to fuck up the children of fucked up parents even more, which is obviously what happened to me. But I'm fighting back, and I'm waging an incredible fight for my life, fighting against the banks and the medical establishment and the legal establishment, and a lot of corporations and the social media companies and just people in general, and all the people and institutions affected by those companies and institutions trying to hit back at me for what I'm uncovering, along with other freedom fighters like Alex Jones and all the other good people fighting the establishment conspiracy. But women and girls are totally brainwashed by the establishment and go along with the establishment conspiracy. And I have to go along with the establishment conspiracy to a large degree. But women are always, usually, not always, but they're usually going to choose security over liberty and security over morality and luxury and safety and security over true spirituality. Now, I've even encountered women who were enlightened about what's really going on, but they still want me to make all the moves. And they don't understand that I've been dealing with shit from women my whole life. And at this point, I'm exhausted by all of them. It's never a woman who wants to make a move on me or ask me out or even expose herself to the slightest amount of vulnerability. So I've had women in my life, even recently, and they just don't understand all the stuff I'm going through, and they want me to do everything. And I can't, because I've spent an entire lifetime since I was like 10 years old dealing with bullshit from women. Since I was in grammar school, dealing with all their bullshit and all the brainwashing they're exposed to by their mothers. And then all the emotional and psychological and moralistic baggage they've laid on me for being a normal red-blooded male. All the guilt trips they've laid on me since I was 10 years old just for being normal. I've had to deal with that since I was like 8 or 10 years old. Because when I was 8 or 10 years old, since then, I wanted to have sex. And I've had nothing but guilt trips about it from women since that time. At the same time that my mother is crazy, my mother was doing drugs like marijuana since I was a kid and hanging out with pot smoking sleazebags while I was also receiving anti-drug messages in school. My mother was pot smoking at home when I was a kid. I was also sexually molested when I was a kid and like a teenager and a young adult several times, and also exposed to like a lot of creeps who wanted to yeah, I guess they wanted to have sex with me. It's really sad. But like I was just I had a lot of bad experiences and very little self-esteem because I had two parents who were just two basket cases, and my parents were just really fucked up and really had very, very fucked up mindsets. And like, people just don't understand what I went through all my life. They also don't understand that as fucked up as my mother was, my mother's family, who were very well off, most of them were millionaires, and like, they just had they just showed zero compassion for me, and they were so cruel to me in so many ways. First of all, because they were envious of me and my intelligence, but also they were envious of my father's intelligence. And like, my mother's family, our family, are just such cruel bastards. And it's just really sad. And finally, I've separated myself from all of them. And, but like, women just don't understand me. They don't understand my anger and my guardedness and my wariness, because I've just been so screwed by all women almost, starting with my mother and all the tricks and bullshit she played on me. And like my mother just continues to be a total lunatic. And like a lot of it revolves around money because my mother sold her soul for money and just gave up on all her dreams. And she fought me all my life using money and like using psychological trickery along with her sister, my aunt. Like my mother's sister is like a self-proclaimed um, psychologist, even though she doesn't have a psychological degree and she doesn't have psychological certification. She thinks she's some sort of psychological genius because she has a PhD. And like she and my mother were pulling all this psychological bullshit my whole life, and the rest of my mother's family are just utter intellectual sleazebags. And like no one understands how painful my life was for most of my life, and only over the past 10 or 15 years have I broken free of all the torture and all the psychological torture and hardship that I lived under. And I'm going to have to write a book about my life because people just don't understand what I went through. I'm going to have to write my autobiography and explain what I went through. But, people don't understand, women don't understand, girls don't understand. They just don't understand what I went through. They don't understand all the scars that I have. And so, like, my relationship um, capability has been like so chronically damaged and injured that it's like I have a chronic relationship disability. But women just don't like women are chronically illogical, chronically unreasonable, chronically demanding, chronically needy, chronically illogical, and it's incredibly frustrating dealing with women and their insanity all the time. And like maybe I never learned how to deal with their insanity and their neediness, but I don't know. I'm really tired of dealing with women, and the situation has never changed. A lot of people in my family betrayed me. My brother betrayed me multiple times. I know he was talking behind my back with my mother's family, conspiring against me. I know he was spreading lies to other people about me. I know a lot of the stuff he lied to me about and never told me about. And a lot of it I don't know because he never told me. And he's just a fucking sleaze asshole. My father is also a sleaze asshole. My father is totally crazy. I have to actually write down what I went through with my father and how cruel my father was to me. But like women don't understand this. They don't understand what I've gone through. Like maybe because I didn't, but how could I tell them what I went through all my life? How could I explain that to them? Well, they're also just not interested. And like the fact is, hookers and female artists and female athletes are like the only competent women there are. Other than hookers, athletes, and artists, like I can't think of any other women who have any competency whatsoever. Like women are idiotic whores, but like I don't want to insult whores. Like women, in my experience, have just been idiots, and like on top of being idiots, they've been cruel, and it's just sad. And I still love women. I'm still crazy about women, but their cruelty and their stupidity is so tiring. And I'm so tired of it that I just had to do this video, because I wanted to express how tiring their stupidity and their cruelty is. So I hope this video touches some people's thoughtfulness, because I think the inadequacy and failure of women is just a really sad story of humanity, and maybe of the 20th century and 21st century. And like I think women have a long way to go, and I think a lot of women owe me an apology, but like I would never accept it. So I just think that like the women that I've dealt with in my life, for the most part, have been incredibly pathetic, and like I don't forgive them. And I'm just moving on to new girls and new women, and I'm forgetting all those others in the past, because like their time has already come and gone, and they lost me. And like, I don't have time to go back to them. I'm not interested in old women. I'm only interested in really hot women. So like they're never going to get me anyway. And it feels really good to say that I'll never forgive them, and that they're just horse meat. But like I'm moving on to new girls, and like I know that I'm gonna get a lot of really hot chicks. Like I know I'm gonna get a lot of really, really hot ass. So, as much trouble and as much pain as I've been through, I've always been a very optimistic person and a very, very positive person. And like it's incredible how strong I am. Like I just I love how strong I am, and I'm so impressed by myself and everything I've accomplished, despite all the assholes that have been in my life, and despite the fact that my family and my parents are such utter failures and such pathetic people. I'm really impressed by everything I've accomplished, everything, everywhere I've been. And like I'm starting, like my new life has started in the past 15 years. And like now I'm at the stage where I've totally escaped from my past and the past people in my past. And I'm starting my new life. And like I also preserved my health because I had such good um, personal habits that like my health is very, very strong. So like I can enjoy a lot of relationships and a lot of dating for like the next 30 to 40 years, because I'm in such good condition. So like my new life is starting, and I have a lot of knowledge and experience to draw on and plan my new life. And like I just feel very good about all the things I have to look forward to. So I have a lot of work to do and a lot of projects that I want to um, start finally. And I I expect that I will have. Now, I can't really say for sure whether I will really have good relationships because, like, I don't even know how to really succeed with women. But I'm very excited about my professional life. I'm very excited about my artistic life, my business life. I'm very excited about also about the legal cases that I want to bring forward and argue. Um, and like I like to be optimistic, but I just don't. I've never understood women since my first um, bad experiences with them. So I just don't know what's going to happen with women. Like I don't know whether I have to read books or study, you know, dating videos or what I have to learn or whether I was never properly socially acclimated in the first place. Like I don't know what's going to happen, but I really like women. So I hope I have relationships and a lot of dating. But I honestly don't know what's going to happen. But one thing is for sure, the women in my past, I just have no interest in. You know, I devoted myself completely to several women, and also I gave. I mean, I there were a lot of women I was attracted to, but they utterly failed me, all of them. So like I have no interest in those women at all, and I'm just moving on. And there are no guarantees in life, but I feel positive about my personal life and all the work I want to do. And if that doesn't impress them and if that doesn't mean anything to them,